want to know something I bet you didn't know? This is the 12th junkyard in 6 weeks to mysteriously burn everything in it. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were about to take off all of the older vehicles that are on the roads, and you didn't want anybody to find parts, how would you do that?
Junkyard.
If you were about to say, you know what, we don't want all these older vehicles on our roads anymore. We're going to put new mandates. We're going to make you buy cars with sensors. We're going to do all this stuff. But how do we stop people from continuing to keep their old cars? Maybe burn all the junkyards? No, that couldn't be it, right? Like, that's just too smart a thinking, right? That's conspiracy thinking, right? This is just an accident, right? No coincidences, right? Stay safe, America.
Nah. He was hitting the nail on the head, bro. Like you said, if all these new cars is coming out in like 2027, man, they're gonna have all these sensors, these cameras where they can track you and stuff like that. So the only logical thing is that people say the old cars, where would they get those cars? Where would they get the parts for those cars? The junkyard. It's all lighted up, bro. Hey, man, if you have an old car, bro, keep it, bro. Trust me.
The 6 chocolate brands that are starting to use lab-grown cocoa. Number 1, Cadbury invested $4.6 million into a lab-grown cocoa company. Number 2, Kit Kat invested $44 million into a lab-grown cocoa company. Number 3, Lindt invested $5.6 million into a lab-grown cocoa company. Number 4, Kinder invested $15 million into a lab-grown cocoa company. Number 5, Snickers has a budget of $2 billion to invest into lab-grown chocolate. And finally, number 6, M&M's has a budget of $1.4 billion to invest into lab-grown cocoa startups. Make sure to read the ingredients and avoid terms like chocolate flavoring or cocoa compounds.
Has anyone else seen the body cam footage from Mackenzie Shrilla's arrest and noticed this kind of ghostly whisper happening?
Is your head going in?
I guess Dom's sister is the one who actually pointed this out, and if you listen to the tape, it sounds like the voice is saying, "She killed us." "She killed us" is literally said right after the officer says to Mackenzie something to the effect of, "I don't want to hurt you." Now, after this was pointed out, some people said that the officer must have heard it too, because it sounds like he says, "What was that?" right after the voice says, "She killed us." But when I first listened to the audio, it kind of sounds like the officer is just asking Mackenzie, "You okay?" Whether he noticed it or not, the fact that this was picked up on body cam footage is really crazy. And even if you don't believe in the paranormal, first responders and police officers are usually the first ones to admit that the supernatural does exist, because they've seen or heard far too many things that can't be explained. So let me know in the comments what you think of this. Did you hear the voice in the body cam footage? And do you think it belongs to one of the boys?
I heard it. Clouds looking like it came from Minecraft, man. It was a whole block. Oh no, what's going on?
So, I thought these were scabs. And then I'm like, well, why would I have a scab? So this morning I realized I had these things in between my nails. And I thought, oh, is it dirt? And then I looked closer, I was like, oh, it looks like a scab. And then I'm talking to my mom on the phone, and I'm just kind of like playing around with my hands, and I'm realizing that these are actually sea ticks. And they're on this hand too. Once I realized they were on multiple of my hands, that's when I was like, what are these? That is a sea tick. So, be careful, people. I mean, that these ticks can be in plain sight, and you can still miss them. I literally mostly just noticed these two, and I thought, oh, it kind of looks like a little bit of a scab or something in between my hands. I don't know what happened. Must have hurt myself a little bit. Then I look closer, and they're like ticks. This is wild. I took a shower last night. I was sitting in my sauna for like 45 minutes. I was sweating. I don't remember seeing these things. Or if I did, I thought it was just scabs or something. I don't know, but I was showering. I did everything.
Shoot, got me about to be checking in my hands, bro. Make sure I ain't got no damn sea ticks. They're so small, man, like she said. They could pass off as freaking scabs, bro. And the only reason why, I'm tripping, man, because ticks this season, bro. What's happening around the world, man, these ticks, they not known, man. So, bro, she needs to go get checked out, bro. Make sure she's okay. Hey, Seekers, check between your hands, bro. I'm checking right now. I'm good. Me and GTA San Andreas. Oh, this show's an Easter egg or something? Where are we taking us, CJ? It's way outside the damn map. What the? Oh, what the hell? Where we at? Keep going on. Where we at, bro? I'm getting scared now. What the? Oh, hell no, bro. Some weird place, man. What the? I never saw this playing this game, bro. I'm freezing? What the hell? Where these underground tunnels go? Lead outside the island?
Bro, look at this shit. Look. He remembers you. Thanks. What the fuck? Companies worldwide are ditching fast food workers. You're now going to be able to go to the drive-in, and instead of meeting someone, it's going to be an AI that remembers everything about you. Remember your meals, remember everything you've ever bought, even shit like birthdays, bro. Starting at McDonald's next year, just can't believe that there's literally technology like this shit. That's insane.
If your ultimate goal is to be famous, you're going to do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil.
As we sold our souls to the devil, how else can you explain us being here?
So did you sell your soul, and if so, how much did you sell it for? I sold my soul for about $55. Okay, we're going to hell.
I swear I wanted to be like Amy Grant with music. Yeah. But it did not work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
Sold my soul.
Let it come out. Let that come all the way out. Let's tell the whole truth. What did you sell your soul for?
I sold my soul to have a life that I wanted, that I never had.
A material life. Yeah.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration.
There ain't nobody flying up to heaven right now. Obviously, all y'all motherfuckers going to hell. Right with me.
I sold my soul to the devil. I signed my soul to the devil.
You sold your soul at all?
Yeah. You will do anything to get the money, then that's when you sold your soul, my brother.
Never forget that the CEO who runs ChatGPT said this. I am happy to say that I am convinced that the job destruction in the next couple of decades is going to be massive. Like, honestly, one of the things that I struggle with, like, getting out of the bed every morning is that, like, my job is to help people destroy jobs. Like, how are billions of people going to replace the meaning they got from work with whatever they're going to fill their time with? And I think this is the number one challenge in kind of technology.
Why does he keep freaking pushing it, bro? See, because do you guys believe in reincarnation, man? Well, some of these pictures, man, the celebrities, bro, when you put them side by side with like old figures in history, they match up like too perfectly where there's no other explanation than that, bro. Type 1 down below if you believe in reincarnation. Type 2 if you don't.
Problem with the neighborhood. It's the problem that you would think and not think of at the same time. I live in the blue house with the brick on it.
Everyone got a blue house with a brick. You live in the blue house with the brick with the white pillars. You have the driveway.
You know what I'm saying?
Everyone got the exact length of grass.
I mean, look. I'm the only house over here that has this much space in between me and my neighbor.
Oh wow, it's like a Dr. Seuss movie. It's like scary.
It really is the Stepford neighborhood. Yeah. Imagine you just moved in here, you decide to have a little bit of libations, got a little drunk, and you decide to take a walk.
Oh, you're lost forever.
First week I moved in here, I caught one of my neighbors, and he was walking, he was going down that way, then he stopped, looks at his phone, he walks back this way, he gets to the corner where I saw y'all, stops, he looks at his phone.
Wow. Japan's bear problem is way worse than you think. Not only has one of their cities been placed into some form of a lockdown because a rogue bear is on the loose. I mean, we're talking over 100 schools being closed, residents being told to stay indoors, and search parties of police officers to try and hunt and find it. But also, a second Japanese city this week, Fukushima, is having to deal with an even worse rogue bear on the loose. It has attacked 4 people, and authorities call it extremely intelligent. And I mean, that's not even an exaggeration, because evidence was found that the bear unlocked a factory window in order to escape capture, and it also turned on a tap with its paws to be able to drink water. Oh, and to top it all off, it's not just intelligent, it's a bit of a beast. They hit this bear with a tranquilizer, didn't even flinch, kept on running, is all good. And these 2 incidents are within the context of Japan's bear attacks and sightings surging. Recently, they've deployed the army, they've deployed barking drones to try and scare off the bears. They've even relaxed certain firearm regulations specifically for bear management, which is significant for a country where gun ownership is very strict. And despite all of that, the bear attacks and sightings are expected to continue. The government warned the public last week that they should expect an even bigger spike in bear encounters in 2027 due to their food supply continuing to dwindle, which causes them to wander into cities.
So you mean to tell me Steven Spielberg is putting out his Alien movie around the same time the government is speaking about aliens? You do know that the Pentagon controls Hollywood. So if that man put out a movie like this, guess what? The Pentagon signed off on it. But what's really taking place? And why is this shit happening all of a sudden? I mean, they've been had this information, so why would you want to release it now? This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. Okay. Lies, 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 lies. These life forms are not coming from millions of light years away. They are right next to us. As I make this video, there's probably one right here. These are called interdimensional beings, meaning they share the same space with us. That's the big secret about space. It's all around us, but we are trained to believe, to look up when they say outer space. It's not outer space, it's inner space. Why do you think the governments can't use nuclear weapons no more? These aliens will not allow our governments to use these weapons because we all share the same space. If they let off a nuclear bomb, guess what? It's going to fuck with their reality like it messed with ours. These realities are set up like the world map. Every time you go into a different country, it's like going into a different interdimensional timeline. Africa, China, UK, America, Cuba, these are all different countries. But in the spiritual world, they are known as interdimensional timelines. Where do you think the governments learn how to divide borderlines from? They got it from the spiritual world. They are not millions of light years away. They are with us right now. For the people that don't understand what's going on, the human population is being replaced. These interdimensional beings are coming in and out of our reality. And guess what? They don't want to leave now. You know how the governments be taking different countries? Well, these aliens are taking different realities. But you will never hear the president come on TV and say, we lost. Steven Spielberg knows exactly what he's doing. By the way, this guy is a Mason. He knows all the secrets about what's really taking place. But people still think Hollywood movies is just for entertainment. Nah, not at all. Why would you think that? Hollywood is like the Akasha Records. They take the information and give it to you, but it's up to you to believe it or not. Our Creator made our timeline out of unconditional love. So anytime there's hatred in our reality, these aliens can come in our reality. I've been making these videos since 2010 trying to warn the people. If you want to know more, read my ebook. It's in the bio.
It just got me thinking now. I wonder did the government had to sign off on Spielberg, making that UFO movie? Because man, it's probably some real stuff, some real alien disclosure in that movie, bro. That some people not even gonna pick up on, man. Got me thinking. See, because actually, tell me down below if you're actually gonna check out Disclosure Day by Spielberg, bro. I have to check it out, man. See what type of info he put inside of that movie that I can pick up on.
Glitch in the Matrix because while on an airplane, she started recording her baby sleeping. She thought it was cute, but when she looked closer, she noticed something wasn't right. Her baby's eyes were completely closed, but in the reflection beside them, they appeared wide open, staring directly at her. That's when she realized she was looking into another dimension.
You see the thing in the Philippines? A volcano erupted, and then right beside it, there was two natural disasters in one. A meteor came down, and it spread green. Oh, yeah. You know, like when Stitch landed, it was green, and it came out, it was badass like that. It had green flare around it. The volcano was erupting at the same time. Wasn't there something that, flew up, too? Almost like a UFO, rising from where it dropped. Oh, look, after it drops, look what happens to the red. Oh, you're right. There's something rising up. Oh, my gosh. Why is it rising up, though? What's coming back up? What is coming back? And why is it bright?
I thought they were trolling me. No, they're trolling us.
Turns out you have a brother who is a scientist.
A high-energy particle scientist.
High-energy particle
scientist. He's one of the finest scientists on Earth.
And where does he do his work?
At CERN.
You want me to believe that the woman who is in the most amount of Mandela controversies, not only her name, but her acceptance speech,
released this information about the Higgs particle, the God particle, and he was one of the scientists who made that discovery at CERN, which I was able to go and visit.
You mean to tell me that her brother is a theoretical physicist who's worked at CERN? You mean to tell me her brother was working at CERN in 2012 when they found the God particle?
The work that is being done there will help find another piece of the puzzle about existence, how we're here and where we are.
How we started.
Isn't it maybe?
It might be starting. People are found collapsing with no visible signs of breathing and coming back viciously biting everyone around them. And an entire town just went into lockdown. People were terrified after visitors at a Walmart in Tennessee were placed under quarantine lockdown after a man bit a woman, with the woman collapsing, eyes rolling back, appearing completely lifeless, and then rising back up and biting everyone around her. And people are saying this is already spreading. Haunting reports show the initial man who bit the woman was not acting human, growling and lunging, and after the woman went down, she came back barely able to walk, dragging her own body towards people with her eyes wide open, seemingly with no one behind them. But it gets much stranger. As the town was placed under National Guard watch, the mayor had to address the situation publicly. People had been ordered to stay inside, and now people are asking why a single biting incident required a military response unless someone already knew what this was. However, none of this has been confirmed, and people started looking closer and found the original video reports were tagged as fictional.
Science.
Please don't let zombies come in 2026, bro. We're dealing with so much. I cannot put zombies on a freaking list now, bro. That was scary, bro. Why do you have to deploy the National Guard in the city? We can't deal with this, bro.
Claims he found proof of the Matrix using nothing more than an ordinary red laser, and what he discovered sounds absolutely insane. He used a basic construction laser, the same kind builders use every day, but he slightly changed the settings, so the laser lines became thicker and blurred instead of perfectly sharp. When he pointed it at a wall and stared closely at the light, something disturbing supposedly appeared. Tiny numbers, strange symbols, and hidden patterns started covering the surface, almost exactly like the code from the movie The Matrix. And the creepiest part is this. According to him, these weren't random patterns at all. He believes this could actually be the hidden structure our reality is built from. What shocked people even more is that everyone who looked into the laser claimed they saw the same thing. Not a single person said they saw nothing. Some even described the feeling as if the laser was opening a doorway into another layer of reality, where the hidden structure of the world could be seen. And the most terrifying part about this discovery is that it could prove our reality is nothing more than a computer simulation created from this hidden code. So what do you think? Did this scientist actually discover a way to glimpse the structure of reality, or was it all just an illusion created by the mind?
You know all these data centers that keep going up all over the place? Those are connected to 6G and the robots. That's why they're pushing that stuff so hard. People are wondering why they keep pushing these AI data centers so much. AI data center, you gotta look this up. It's called AI Iran, okay? And what are we in right now? What war are we in right now? Iran's war, right? Well, there, if you look up, it's called AI Iran. That is the connection to 6G, and that is the connection to the data centers, and that is what they're going to do next. So when they're pushing these data centers, people need to push back against this stuff, because that is the Terminator coming into real life. This is why they're trying to put the data centers in each state right there. Each state has these data centers, because when they roll out these robots, these drones, these robot things that try to move around and, whatever else they do, that is the connection to that. And I was going through it and I was like, wait a minute. So they're distracting people with the war, right, while they roll out the technology with the exact same name. Think about that. That's what they do. Every single time. They always cover things up. They always, whatever the word is right here, they will put out something like a song or a music video or something like that to get rid of that name. And they've done this with, you look up Tesla, and you find an electric vehicle now. You don't find Nikola Tesla, you find an electric vehicle. So they do these things to get rid of one thing so you don't look that up, and then now you switch it over here. So that is the 6G push, and the 6G is...
Do I think we are still living in the aftermath of a reset season? Yes, I absolutely do still believe we are living in the aftermath of a reset. The infrastructure that we live on today, we can barely maintain. The roads, the sewers, the plumbing, the electrical infrastructure that our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers have built, we barely know how to maintain and keep running today. It seems like the world is more and more being kept up and propped up with stucco and duct tape, it seems like. The amount of quality they were able to build back then, and we can't even maintain. They say these buildings that they built in the 1800s that should have lasted hundreds, if not thousands of years, we let fall into decay and disarray and crumble and mere centuries. So I absolutely do believe we're living in that after effects of the reset still.
The technological singularity has to do primarily
5G towers, which have been upgraded to 6G terahertz, which is 1,000 times more powerful than 5G waves. We now have millimeter waves under 6G terahertz. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Then we have NATO airplanes dumping smart dust particulates, biosensors full of graphene, aluminum, titanium, lithium, strontium, barium, etc., arsenic poison, probably. Anyway, they've been dumping that like every 10 minutes, 16 hours a day, everywhere in the world for 2 years now. And previously, they were dumping it at a slower pace. That's 7G technology. In other words, it's still the 6G terahertz electronic energy, but now that energy is bouncing off all the air pollution, all the particulates in the sky, and it's bouncing off all the bunny rabbits and squirrels and birds and bees. The bees are all augmented now with the smart dust. All the humans are out there running and cycling and getting out and hiking up Half Dome in Yosemite Park and going to see what's left of Glacier National Park. There are no glaciers in Glacier National Park. If you didn't know, it's Glacier National Park minus the glaciers. But if you're out there getting exercise and feeling good about yourself, just know you're polluting the heck out of your skin, your eyes, your breathable air, your lungs are ingesting all of these nanoparticulates, which include biosensors, which hook you up to the cloud, which hook you up to each other and turn you into...
I can't believe it's true, you're all I ever dreamed.
So I can tell you why that figure is weird. This figure depicts the child version of a famous character in Japan known as Supersonico. Now, according to Wikipedia, Supersonico is typically portrayed as an 18-year-old college student. Of course, she has to be 18, barely above the legal age. And this character is absolutely hyper-sexualized. Like almost every single image that I can find online, it was very, very sexualized. And you know that there are people out there who really deeply get off to stuff like this. Especially a character like this whose every image and portrayal is hyper-sexualized. I mean, I challenge you, Google the name and look for an image that isn't dirty in some way. So when a character is typically portrayed in ways like this, which leads people to develop crushes on the character and, do things while they're looking at the character, if you know what I'm saying, and then you release a child version of that character as a toy, covered in some sort of white cream. I'm not even going to really describe the rest of this thing. I think you guys can tell what is so wrong about this. And I just cannot believe that they would actually not only create this toy, but go on to sell it, promote it to people, and try to turn this into something that it never should have been in the very first place. So that's why it's disturbing in my opinion. If you want to hear me rant more about topics like this, listen to my podcast, The Conspiracy Files, available on all streaming platforms. The show's also on YouTube.
These people get trapped in an elevator and they have no cell reception. So they use the call button to call the building concierge. But the concierge refuses to call the fire department.
You guys refuse to call the fire department because you're gonna say Monday. Is that the case?
The procedure is for the security on site to do that, but I've let them know.
Yeah, but call the fire department. It's emergency.
So they're stuck in this elevator for an hour and a half. They were apparently in there so long that the woman who was in there with them is about to pass out. So they start begging.
We have a woman that's about to pass out. What's not the emergency?
I need to get out, please, please, please.
But the concierge still refuses to call the fire department to let him out, saying, just wait on our technician.
The fire department will also wait on the technicians as well.
So why is she refusing to call the fire department? So apparently the fire department will fine the building if they have to come out too many times for things like elevator problems.
You're not calling it because it costs $10,000 to get fire department here. It's a way to save money.
So a lot of these buildings will do everything they can to avoid calling them. And people want to call the fire department because, firemen get there fast. And as part of the fire code, they have access to the elevator room and they have elevator keys to like every operational elevator in the city. So when the concierge said firemen wait for the technician,
the fire department will also wait on the technicians as well.
Hell no, they don't. Firemen don't wait for anybody. Fire department will cut your damn front door open just to get you out. Those guys don't play around. So eventually, you can guess what happened. The woman passed out, or maybe she's taking a nap. I don't know, the footage doesn't actually specify. But the concierge never called the fire department, and the people trapped in the elevator had to wait an hour and a half for the building maintenance guy to show up and let them out. I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say that that building is getting sued.
Heck yeah, we're soothing, bro. Them trying to save a measly 10K, man, but a woman's about to pass out. That's just shameful, man. Shameful activity right there. I'm stuck in the elevator for an hour and you refuse to call the fire department because you trying to save some money. Nah. You gonna lose weight. You gonna lose some more money, man, when I hit you with that freaking with that lawsuit. Somebody coming out of their coins, man.
Once in a while, animals will do things that not even science can fully explain, and apparently, that's what happened in 2005. Because that's when a 12-year-old Ethiopian girl was kidnapped and beaten by a group of men who were trying to get her to marry one of them. Nasty work, repugnant even. After being missing for over a week, it was getting to the point where her family was just expecting the worst. But eventually she was found, except with a different kind of predator. Because according to the story, they found the injured and traumatized girl surrounded by a group of lions, almost like they were guarding her. And once police arrived, the lions calmly retreated back into the forest like they clocked out of a shift or something. Which has led many people to believe that not only did the lions chase off her attackers, they stayed with her until help came. Now what a lot of scientists believe actually happened is that the little girl's cries might have sounded like that of a lion cub, and since lions are naturally wary of people, honestly, couldn't blame them. Once the police, aka other humans, arrived, that's when the lions decided to fall back. But we've also seen lions do things like this. I'm not gonna act like I know the answer, but sometimes you gotta just stop asking why and just appreciate what's in front of you. The more you know.
Scariest urban legend from each state, part 4. Robert the doll from Florida. A young boy named Eugene was gifted this doll as a birthday present. Eugene had Robert sleep next to him every single night, until a random night where Eugene woke up and saw Robert sitting across the room from him. After that night, things changed. They noticed every night that they heard footsteps in the attic, and something running up and down the stairs. He was inhabited by some demonic spirit, even having the neighbors say that they saw Robert looking through the window of the attic every single night. Robert is currently in an extremely safe spirit box in the East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. It's stated if you make eye contact or take a picture with Robert without his permission, some seriously bad things can happen to you.
Stay away from Robert, bro. Good thing he didn't go missing like the Annabelle doll. That was a saga, man. But they found her, right? I'm gonna say they found her and they put her back in their, I guess, special box or something.
Disturbing facts that'll keep you awake. Apparently 30% of people see strange things in a hallway when it's pitch black. Are you one of those people? And I found this next one pretty disgusting. But did you know bed mattresses gain weight over time due to all the dead skin, sweat and bodily fluids we have? And did you know, unlike other predators, bears won't try to kill you before eating you? A bear will just start eating straight away. But the good thing is, if a bear is following you, you'll most likely hear him. But if a mountain lion is following you, you're most likely done for. And while on the topic of animals, did you know tarantulas travel in swamps of tens of thousands? And apparently there's a town in Australia where this phenomenon actually happens once a year, and it's terrifying.
I will not be going there. What the hell?
Normal things you should never do in Japan. Alright, so first you should never blow your nose in public, because apparently it's considered impolite and people might start staring at you. So try finding a private place to do it. Next, it is pretty common to wear shoes indoors, right? But in Japan you have to remove your shoes when you go into someone's house. If you don't, it might be the last time they invite you. And I'm sure if you're from the US, you've given a tip before, right? But if you do it in Japan, it is considered rude, and some places don't even accept it at all. But finally, if you have tattoos but you want to go to public baths, you will most likely be denied, because tattoos are still associated with organized crime, such as the Yakuza and other gangs.
Damn,
Creepy fact you probably don't know, but you're about to. Part 2. At one time, doctors thought that babies didn't feel pain. It took up until 1987 for the American Academy of Pediatrics to declare that it was unethical to operate on babies without anesthesia. So that means for years, babies were forced to just sit there and suffer through surgery without any form of pain control or anesthetics. So yeah, that's kind of scary.
It truly is, man.
Hearing those, I'm sorry, but that's why
you should never do this. This is 17-year-old Michael Dumas. He was on a church trip to Florida with some of his friends. While on this trip, they went to Pompano Beach, and he would be buried in the sand as you see here. He'd soon be unburied and all would be well until later that night when he would wake up in the middle of the night and be itching like crazy and sweating. At first, this would be labeled as an ear infection and he would be sent home with drops. But it would soon be obvious that that's not what it was, as he started to develop these raised, bumpy rashes. And he became pretty lethargic, just wanting to sleep all the time. It got even worse to the point where he was having these big, nasty blisters. And that's when he'd finally be diagnosed with cutaneous larva migrans, which is pretty much dog or cat hookworm. So pretty much these work by the dog or the cat pooping in the sand and contaminating it, and then not long after, these microscopic larvae hatch, and then you step in this contaminated sand and you end up looking like Michael. After all of this, he ended up developing a staph infection as well. And if it's not bad enough just him getting infected, 5 others from this trip got infected with hookworm as well.
Disturbing body facts that might ruin your day. If you have a surgery where your other organs need to be moved around, they might not function a day after the surgery because the body assumes they're just dead. Next, the brain is the last thing to function when you pass away, meaning in most cases you will hear, feel and smell your last moments on Earth. And it's possible to die from a pimple, let me explain. If a pimple gets infected, let's say from you itching it, the infection could get into your bloodstream, causing you to have an intense fever. Then a few days later you will start having seizures and vomiting everywhere, so try not to play too much with your pimples. And finally, it's possible to get brain damage from a toothache, because if you have a tooth infection, there's a high chance of it getting to the brain if it's not taken care in time.
I had that a couple of days ago, man. Toothaches are the worst.
Celebrity chef and host of Worst Cooks in America, Anne Burrell, was found dead in her New York home this morning. Dead at the relatively young age of 55. If you don't know who Anne was, she was the host of one of America's most popular food shows, Worst Cooks in America. Side note, I was actually cast on this show a few years ago. They flew me out to New York City. I got to meet the cast that ended up filming that season. Now, they did end up replacing me and then flying me out back home. I never made it onto the show and I never got to meet Anne. But if I would have been given the chance, I would have loved to have competed. Anne was born in 1969 in New York. She discovered her love for food at a young age. She attended various culinary institutes before moving into the restaurant world, and eventually she made her way into television, and finally at one point was cast in the starring role in the television show Worst Cooks. Now, just 5 days ago, Anne posted this photograph on her Instagram, and strangely enough, she looks glowing. She looks incredibly happy and healthy. And an official cause of death has not been released yet. I couldn't find any information about this anywhere, and so it's really unknown exactly what happened here and why it happened. But Anne is definitely going to be missed by all. RIP to her. And yeah, if there are any more significant updates, I'll be sure to hop on and make another video for you guys.
The Teletubbies conspiracy theory claims that the show was inspired by events that happened in a Bulgarian mental facility called La La Land. Children there were isolated from the others and placed in dark rooms. But apparently 4 of those children died on the same day, inspiring the Teletubbies. Lala apparently had facial disfigurement and was isolated for 5 years. And that inspired the Teletubby Lala. Toy-Tay was a deaf, facially disfigured kid who was tied to a fence outside and had gotten frostbitten from the cold. This inspired Tinky Winky. Donka, who was starved and was very, very sick, would lay in his own vomit for days, inspired Dipsy. And finally, Paulina, who had fell into a fire and was roasted alive, inspired Poe. But you won't believe the reason they were called the Teletubbies. You see, the children's main source of entertainment in their rooms were their TVs. They were as small as a small iPad. Sometimes when they heard their toys was going to be confiscated, they would hide them in their mouths. And they had just found out that the institution was going to get rid of the TVs. And they didn't want that, and they couldn't hide the TVs in their mouths. So one of them had the great idea to hide them in their stomachs, because that's the only place they could fit. Mind you, these kids are a little bit not all the way there. So they came up with a plan to rip their insides out in order to fit the TVs inside and hide them. They tried it, and the next morning, the caregiver walked in on all 4 children dead.
Creepy theory, man. But I heard that the Teletubbies conspiracy theory is supposed to be cap. And like I said, see, because we all
Guys, you're
going to
like this one. We have an internet magician, the card guy, who wants to get barbecued. All right, then. Man, first of all, you look like Tom Hardy if he worked at Applebee's. You look like a present-day Screech. And bro, what is up with those big-ass ears? Can you hear the future? Do you use a shower head as earbuds? And what does Neptune sound like? And that's a pretty sick beard there, Meth Rogan. Yeah, I guess if I did street magic, I'd want to hide my face too. And yeah, what kind of magic tricks do you do? I mean, you're pretty good at making smiles disappear. And do you call yourself card guy because you have to card the women you date? And what was it like being on that episode of Futurama? And was that you in that video screaming, "Just do it"? Alright, card guy, there's your roast, man. Hey dude, your magic tricks are really cool. Keep up the good work. But there's one trick I really think you should try. I want you to do that one that Siegfried and Roy did.
Damn, online roast, bro.
Blood curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 5. Despite if you're using incognito mode, Wi-Fi routers actually keep logs of what websites you visit, and the owner of the router can check this whenever they want. So hopefully you don't have anything to hide. A woman in Russia had a shit ton of twins, triplets, and quadruplets with the same man, totaling to 69 children.
What the?
Nice. Tarantulas taste like shrimp. According to some cannibals, the most delicious part of the human body is the eyeball, and they especially like licking them. The skin on your lips is the same skin that's on your butthole. Dolphins sometimes bite off the head of a fish and masturbate into the decapitated body. A bubble caused by false vacuum decay could be growing through our universe right now, destroying everything it touches, and we would have no idea because it travels at the speed of light. 2020, please no.
Scary facts you wish you never knew. There's a shack called the Devil's Toy Box in Louisiana, and for some reason people who go in lose their minds. You know the tingly feeling you get when you eat a pineapple? Well, that's because the pineapple is eating you. It has an enzyme called bromelain, and that enzyme eats meat, which you're made of. I'm gonna stick to watermelon. No one can comment on this video and get 0 likes. Sharks have been around for 420 million years, meaning they have survived all 4 big mass extinctions, making them older than dinosaurs, Mount Everest, and even some trees on this planet. Yet we could potentially see them go extinct in our lifetime. The person who invented homework came up with the idea as a punishment for his students. Now you can check if your phone activity is being monitored. Just click on share, slide all the way to the end, click more, and if any apps appear before your contacts, you should delete it immediately. This is a photo of Lyndon B. Johnson. In it, he's being sworn as president, just 2 hours after JFK was unalived. And the woman he's standing next to is Jackie Kennedy, who still had her husband's blood on her shirt. Lyndon B. Johnson turned to his friend, Albert Thompson, while Albert smirked and winked back. The photographer who captured the picture called the photo completely sinister. Doja Cat scares me. Studies show that people who like and follow me get smarter every day.
Let's talk about one of the worst torture methods in history. This brings us to something called the tub. So as you see here, the chosen one would be crammed into a wooden tub with only their head exposed. They would then have milk and honey smeared and poured on top of their head and face. Then brings the flies. These flies and other insects just swarm to the person attracted by this milk and honey, and there they just continue to annoy the person, causing them extreme distress and discomfort. If that's not bad enough, then you're stuck in this wooden tub in agony with all these bugs all over you, and you can't move at all because you're crammed in there so tight. And to really just torture them even more, they'd feed the person over and over again, which, you know, makes you gotta go. And I'm sure you can imagine how that goes, with it eventually piling up until it's just covering all around you. This would then lead to the maggots and the worms, which come from this, and they pretty much just eat you alive. It's said the longest a person lasted in this was 17 whole days, and they pretty much decayed alive.
Now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. So the other day, a Reddit user posted this photo to Reddit. It's of his apartment at night. He had been complaining of hearing rustling noises in his apartment over the last couple nights. Many users thought they could kind of see something in this area of his kitchen, but I couldn't, so I looked at the brightened version. This is the photo brightened. And I know what you're gonna say, yes it does look like Keanu Reeves, but look at how tall he is compared to the fridge. But it gets so much worse. This is a video he took of his apartment at night where you can see something happen to the light in the kitchen. But let's look at the brightened version.
You can see the shadow right there, bro.
Yes, it's terrifying, but is it a ghost?
I don't know. I think that somebody in his house. That ain't no ghost. You might have a squatter.
I found this while thrifting. Is this art or something else?
Careful when you're thrifting, or you might run into something like this. This, my friends, is a porcelain doll. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, share with 3, or this might come after you. Though it's actually stated that most porcelain dolls are actually extremely haunted, of spirits that don't want to be messed with. You see how it's perfectly woven? It needs to stay that way. Those knots are not meant to come undone. Who knows what lives inside of that doll? I think the best plan of attack is to put that doll back exactly where you found it. Hopefully it's not too late. Hopefully you didn't already take it home, or show people, or even try and open the doll all the way. Because if that's the case, well, things are gonna get really weird weird in your life. Everyone always jokes about the Annabelle doll, but if you think about it, it's in a giant glass case with pages from the Bible in it to keep whatever inside of it inside of that case. I would put it back before it's too late.
Yeah, I know we don't do dolls over here, Seekers, man. They creepy to me.
3 ways to survive a skinwalker. Number 1. Don't ever whistle in the woods. No matter if it's daytime or nighttime, that's a calling signal, meaning that you're letting the skinwalker know exactly where you are. Number 2. Pray as hard to whatever you believe in as possible. Skinwalkers are demonic creatures, being so that they were transformed this way because they are cannibals, and have killed before. Number 3. White ash tree rubbed bullets. May be one of the only other ways to stop a skinwalker in its tracks. Of course, most people don't have those laying around, so if you're in an area where you think you may or may not be able to run into one, you may want to pack those just in case. Don't forget to like and follow for another episode.
This ride malfunction might be a symptom of a much bigger problem. This video shows the moment where the Atmosphere ride at Oaks Amusement Park in Oregon malfunctioned, leaving 28 people hanging upside down for 30 minutes. Hazen Hathorn was one of the riders on the ride, and a fun fact is that he doesn't have freckles. Those are all broken blood vessels that occurred from hanging upside down for so long. We don't know exactly why the ride malfunctioned just yet. There's still an investigation ongoing, but this is maybe a symptom of a much bigger issue that's happening. And that's the fact that in America, there's little to no regulations for theme park rides, meaning there's not really a standard for how often rides are maintained to be deemed safe. I literally just did a whole episode on this for the podcast where I talk about other theme park disasters that have happened throughout history. This picture is actually from a theme park ride test where the flume completely flew off of the ride, and that ride would go on to open and claim the life of a 10-year-old boy. And that's because the creator of the ride wasn't an engineer, he was just a hobbyist. But in America, if you can dream up a ride, you can make it. For instance, in Florida, parks with over 1,000 workers don't even have officials from the state inspect the rides for safety. Now, giving them the benefit of the doubt, no one died on this ride, and I'm sure it was made by engineers and not just some guy. If you want to hear about more theme park disasters that occurred throughout history because of our lack of safety regulations in America, you should check out episode 70 of the Heart Starts Pounding podcast.
Let's talk about this. See, that's how I'm figuring. I'm a person who be like stays away from roller coasters. I rode a couple, man, but I'm not a big like roller coaster type of person. I didn't even know the freaking security, man, was so lax on the regulations on those rides. See, I had a feeling, man. It saved me.
This picture. Captured in 2008 by Daniel Young, this is one of the only pieces of evidence that this encounter actually happened. So Daniel was a custodian at Myrtle Elementary School where he worked the night shift. It's a pretty routine night. He's just listening to music when he's suddenly interrupted by the sound of a woman's laughter. He turned around and was terrified when he saw an unknown woman smiling from behind the corner. This was a locked school on after hours, so clearly she was an adult who broke in, so he tried to snap a picture to identify her and then chases after her. But when he turned the corner, she had already darted out of an emergency exit. Later that night, police are called to a home where they arrive at a tragedy. An unknown woman had broken into a nearby home where she knifed 2 parents, one who was the principal of this school, so brutally they were unrecognizable. One of the daughters who witnessed this woman before she got away described her as this person. Could this photo be of the same unknown woman? And what her connection is to the school and the principal, we don't know.
Kids who have unalived someone, part 4. 15-year-old Alyssa Bustamante convinced her younger sister to go to the neighbors 4 houses down and convince their 9-year-old daughter, Elizabeth Olton, to come out and play. Elizabeth's mother was hesitant at first because dinner was almost ready, but she agreed. Alyssa's sister had no idea what her older sister was up to. Once she was in the clear and away from her home, Alyssa proceeded to strangle Elizabeth, as well as slit her throat and stab her in the chest, and then bury her in the hole she had dug days before. After committing this crime, Alyssa wrote in her diary, "It was amazing. Once you get over the oh my god feeling, it's actually pretty enjoyable." She was sentenced to life in prison.
That's an insane story right there. You wouldn't believe until you heard it.
Creepiest things kids have ever said. A woman drove past a cemetery with her 3-year-old daughter in the back seat every day. The 3-year-old kept telling her mom that people in the cemetery were waving at her. This went on for a while until the woman stopped driving past the cemetery forever when the daughter said that a lady wanted her to come in. A family moved into a new furnished apartment with an unsettling painting in the bedroom that kind of looked like hair free-flowing in the air. The 2-year-old son was being settled in for his daily nap until suddenly he said he didn't want to sleep in that room. When mom asked why, he said, "This painting looks at me and tries to talk to me, and I don't like it." A 4-year-old girl spent every day with her great-grandmother, and every day she'd go home, she'd say, "God be with you." One time when she was leaving, she said, "Go with God." Her mother tried to correct her, but she said it again. That night, the great-grandmother passed away. Follow for more of the
Disturbing and scary facts you didn't know. Part 2. A man named Francesco Lentini had 3 legs, 4 feet, 16 toes, and 2 sets of functioning male genitals. He worked for a circus and lived until the age of 78. During the early 1990s, a serial killer named Joseph Matheny owned a burger stand located in Baltimore, Maryland. After his arrest in 1996, he confessed to feeding his customers the flesh of at least 3 humans he had murdered. Now, you can check if your phone activity is being monitored. Just click on Share, slide all the way to the end, click More, and if any apps appear before your contacts, you should delete it immediately. Albert Fish, an American serial killer, boasted that he killed in every state and claimed to have had over 100 victims. What makes him even more sickening is that he sent letters to his victims' parents to tell them how good their children tasted. A new homeowner was shocked to find a rag doll boarded up in a wall cavity clutching a note saying she killed a family.
Urban legends that were proven to be real. Part 1. The Candy Lady. In the early 1900s, children in an unnamed rural town in Texas started to go missing, and the residents blamed it on the Candy Lady. The story says that she would go around leaving candy on children's windows, and eventually she'd lure the kids out with notes attached promising more candy. The story picked up steam when a farmer allegedly found rotten teeth in his farm, later found the body of a boy with his pockets stuffed with candy. Fall for next urban legend.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. There are thousands of old diseases frozen in the glaciers of the world, and global warming will eventually release them all. If a person dies in their costume at Disney, like Mickey Mouse, they have to be sat down on a bench so it looks like they're resting. Climate change is making spiders bigger. Some female spiders allow their young to eat them alive. Tooth in the eye surgery is when surgeons put a tooth in a blind person's eye to restore their sight. It was pioneered in the 1960s, and it actually works, and it's still being done today. The chances of a successful CPR outside of a hospital is only 7%. Cell phones are 10 times dirtier than a toilet seat. When you suddenly wake up during the night without any reason, there was someone or something staring at you. Yeah, there's a lot more, like for part 12.
We are dead. This conspiracy theory is going to mess you up. If you don't want me to ruin your day, just keep on scrolling. Go on, keep on scrolling. Trust me, you don't want to see this. Right, so for everyone that's still here, let's get into it. Right, so it's scientifically proven that when we die, our mind is still functioning. And it's true that our life literally does flash before our eyes. There's a 7-minute period of time where you will re-watch your entire life. But it won't feel like 7 minutes, it will feel like forever. It's also proven that there is no possible way that we could know we're in that state. What I mean is there is no way you would know you're dead and rewatching your life. You just think it's your life. What I'm trying to say is we could all be dead, laying in a hospital bed somewhere. And this reality is just our life flashing before our eyes in a weird way. What the hell?
Did you know it? I didn't even think about it like that. Say your life flashed before your eyes, man, but it feels like a lifetime? So are we in that state right now? Got me asking some good questions.
A teenager once hacked a military satellite using a school computer. In 2002, 17-year-old Jamie Brooks from Nebraska stayed after class, telling his teacher he was working on a science project. What no one knew was that Jamie had built his own software, using outdated manuals he found in a junk shop and code he copied from a cracked video game. One night, he managed to access a decommissioned US military satellite and briefly redirected its camera. For exactly 42 seconds, it live-streamed a secret government facility in Nevada. A few people online caught the footage. One frame showed something odd. Not a person, not a vehicle, but a figure with glowing eyes. Within hours, Jamie's computer was fried. 2 men in suits showed up at the school. Jamie never returned. His family claimed he was sent to a special program, but no one ever heard from him again. To this day, the footage is gone. But some users claim fragments still exist, buried deep in forums, behind encrypted logins. So, what exactly did Jamie see?
Scary movies that we all saw as kids that terrified us. This is the movie Monster House. The movie is about 3 friends named DJ, Chowder, and Jenny, who discover that DJ's neighbor's house is actually a living, breathing, scary monster who eats innocent children and people. The house is owned by a scary and evil old man named Nebuchadnezzar. DJ, Chowder, and Jenny make it their mission to destroy the house so no more innocent people get eaten. But it turns out that the house is haunted and possessed by Nebuchadnezzar's wife, Constance, who died in the basement by getting covered in cement. This movie is extremely creepy and scary, and it's definitely one of my favorite animated scary movies ever. If you want to watch this movie now, it's actually on Netflix. But I must say, after watching this movie, you might have a hard time sleeping.
I think I remember seeing it as a kid.
Yo, what's up? Here's some facts that will probably ruin your childhood. Part 2. You guys remember Sleeping Beauty, right? Well, what if I told you that the original story went like this? It was a princess who was sexually assaulted while she was sleeping. The guy left, and the only reason she woke up is because she found out she was pregnant with twins, and the guy came back, and they fell in love without her even realizing that she was sexually assaulted in her sleep. You guys remember Pee Wee Herman, right? A pretty goofy character. Well, in 1991, the actor that played Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens, was arrested for indecent exposure at an adult movie theater in public, meaning he probably pulled out his private parts and, well, yeah. You guys remember the Power Rangers, right? Well, how about in particular the Red Power Ranger, played by Ricardo Medina, who actually stabbed his roommate in real life with a sword and killed him. And finally, Peter Pan was written about the author's brother, who was 13 at the time when he died after falling and cracking his skull while ice skating.
Creepiest things kids have ever said. A man's mother passed away in a car accident when he was 6 years old. When his 2-year-old daughter saw a picture of her grandmother for the first time, she laughed. He asked her, "What's so funny?" She looked at him and said, "That's my special friend who sings to me." A man's 3-year-old daughter stood next to her newborn brother and looked at him for a while. She turned back to her dad and said, "Daddy, it's a monster. We should bury it." A woman and her 4-year-old son were out in public when all of a sudden he starts rubbing on her belly and talking to it. She asked what he was doing, and he said, "I'm talking to the baby." She informed him politely that she was not pregnant, and then he said, "There is a baby in your belly. I just saw it crawl across the floor and climb up into you." A woman's 5-year-old asked when he was going to be 23 years old. She told him in 18 years. He replied, "Well, I hope I don't die again because that's how old I was the last time I went to heaven." Follow for more of the...
I'm gonna make your childhood even better. Part 2. So we all remember Fred and Daphne from the Scooby-Doo movies, right? From these Scooby-Doo movies? Well, Fred and Daphne actually got married in real life and even have 2 kids together. Pretty cool.
Wow, I never knew that. That was a classic
I'm gonna
movie,
ruin your childhood, part 80. So everyone remembers Max from the Wizards of Waverly Place, right? Well, after Disney, he had some struggles. In 2014, he had a huge meltdown backstage at the Teen Choice Awards. A bunch of witnesses claimed that he yelled at a worker because the worker didn't know who he was. And it got so bad that he threw things at a staffer and stormed off, but it gets way worse. A couple years later, he was involved in a 4-car hit and run. His car smashed into 3 parked cars. But the craziest part is, after hitting the 3 parked cars, he just called an Uber and left the scene like that. And to make matters even worse, he got arrested for drunk driving just a little while after that as well.
Is that why he wasn't in it?
52-year-old Texas resident Karen Davis got married, and then after the ceremony and after the honeymoon, she went through the process of changing her last name from Davis to McBride to match her husband's last name. After the change was done, the last step was to get a new driver's license with the new name on it. So Karen emailed the local DMV to set up a time for her to come in and make the change to her license. But after she sent that email, the local DMV immediately emailed emailed Karen back, and they told her that they could not help her with this request until she resolved an issue. They very cryptically said it had something to do with the state of Oklahoma. And then at the bottom of the email, there was just a phone number they told her she needed to call in order to resolve this issue. She punched this number the DMV had given her into her phone, and then she let it ring. A few moments later, a woman from the Norman, Oklahoma District Attorney's Office picked up the phone and said, "How can I help you?" Karen told her, "Hey, I was just trying to get a new license in Texas. They told me there was some sort of issue. I don't know what it is, but this is the number they gave me." The woman from the DA's office discovered Karen's so-called Oklahoma problem. And after she explained to Karen what this enormous problem was, Karen literally couldn't believe it. Suddenly, everything in Karen's life made sense. For the last 22 years, Karen, who was incredibly smart and friendly and polite and never had a problem with anyone, had an incredibly hard time getting a job. Even jobs that she was extremely qualified for, she would get turned down for someone who was way less qualified. And then, in the rare times that Karen did actually get hired, she would always get fired for no reason. And so Karen never understood why she was being treated this way until now. It would turn out 22 years earlier, which is when Karen's hireability issues began, she lived in Norman, Oklahoma. She lived with a roommate. And this roommate was this nice young man who had a couple of young kids. And one weekend, he went to the local movie store called Movie Place, and he rented the hit 90s movie, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, to watch with his kids. And after he was done watching this movie, he didn't return the VHS tape of Sabrina the Teenage Witch back to Movie Place. When Sabrina the Teenage Witch was not returned in a timely fashion, they pressed charges against the cardholder. And the cardholder was Karen Davis. The roommate had just borrowed her card. And somehow, these charges against Karen were never brought up to Karen. She was never contacted by anyone, and so for 22 years, she was technically a wanted felon for felony embezzlement. And so this was the reason she kept not getting jobs and kept getting fired from jobs. Karen worked with the Norman, Oklahoma DA's office and got these charges dismissed.
Right now, Jeff Bezos has declared that Earth has no plan B and says that all data centers need to be moved to the moon. We really about to build AI data centers in space? A record 32% of all household wealth in the United States is held by people over 70 years old. Germany is now testing AI-powered cockroaches in order to spy. That's creepy. Oh my gosh. China has now reached out to NASA for the first time in history because they're trying to avoid satellites colliding. This is actually crazy. 25% of everybody in the United States has used a buy now, pay later service to buy groceries. And apparently this is really bad because the credit bureaus don't see this debt with this sort of micro loan. And a lot of us apparently are taking out 5 or 10 of these with Amazon and groceries. And the economy could be a lot worse off than we think because there's not enough data on it. Woo! Have you used one? Let's talk about this because it may be embarrassing, but we really need to be speaking more about what's going on with money in the United States right now.
Tupac's daughter says the elite have secret tunnels all over the world. Watch this.
There's cities underground, there's warehouses underground.
All over the world.
There's actual homes underground. People build these tunnels, and they built them for decades. There's a lot of elite celebrities. They go down there for parties.
Wow. They've been there forever, y'all. These go back ancient.
Museum in Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
We walked through the museum, through the garden area, and employees led us to underground tunnels. We had to take an elevator and stairs. We have to be led. There is no way that you can just walk into a tunnel. The entrances and the exits are in your face, but there's no way that you can just walk through tunnels. You'll get stuck. You'll go deeper and deeper. You won't be able to.
This is where the elite really go.
So if you go down the wrong one, you'll get stuck, and it's confusing to turn back around and get back to where you're going.
Weird.
So you have to be led in and out.
You guys believe in those underground tunnels, bro? I mean, there's a whole freaking catacombs under Paris, man, so it won't be too out of the realm of possibility, man, that there's some underground bunkers in California. Like you said, bro, you gotta be aware.
Last time you saw LaToya Jackson. Yes, the LaToya Jackson, sister of the late great Michael Jackson. Why do I ask? Because she took to Instagram and showed off her brand new look. And it has a lot of people concerned. If you haven't seen the images from Instagram, take a look at this. What is going on with LaToya Jackson? Is that even LaToya Jackson? These images are straight off of her Instagram account. TMZ is even reporting LaToya Jackson shows off super slim frame on Instagram. Fans are concerned. This image of LaToya Jackson was taken not too long ago. So who is this LaToya Jackson? Don't get me wrong, she looks amazing, but at the same time, she has her fans concerned about her rail-thin appearance. So the question needs to be asked once again. Has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? And as I say in all my videos, I understand people can change and people can age. But these celebrities are all not looking the same. So let me know your thoughts in the comments as to what you think is going on with LaToya Jackson. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
What if there is something a lot more going on here? NASA have now officially made statements during a press conference on 3i Atlas, but there's three very important and big things you need to understand before diving in. First of all, last week we had this huge coronal hole open on the sun. I'll get back to that in a minute. Of course, there's 3i Atlas, this great big thing that people have been spotting in the sky and taking these photos and videos of. And of course, the infamous WOW signal from 1977. These all correlate, just wait. More and more of these videos have been coming out in the last week with really clear footage of 3i Atlas, with a huge majority of people still thinking that this is some kind of alien mothership. During the press conference, NASA have officially come out and said, no, it is 1,000,000% a comet, there is nothing else, and somehow these are the only photos they've got of it. So if the other ones are real, what are they doing? Of course, these are probably fake, and I'm not saying I believe this by any means. But the theory is, people believe that if this is some kind of spacecraft, it was actually what delivered the WOW signal all of those years ago. Also, some people saying that they believe it is what caused the coronal hole to open on the sun. Now, this is a very common thing, so I'm not too sure about that. But a lot of quite high-ranking scientists and officials and people who used to work at NASA do think it is some kind of alien technology in that it may land on Earth. Great. Just what we need. Just we're never getting GTA 6. As I say, a lot of these are pretty much definitely fake, but there is a small chance they are real, and if they are, what could be going on?
I know that y'all would not believe this unless I showed proof and y'all actually saw it for your own eyes. Well, today there was an earthquake in Greece, and then you felt it in parts of Turkey and in Egypt. And it was a magnitude 6.0. You gotta see it to believe it, right? But the craziest thing about this is that in the skies in Greece, after this earthquake happened, this is what appeared in the sky. I want you to look really closely because this is the same picture from a different angle. What does that look like? An angel appeared in the sky after this earthquake. A large angel, by the way. Look at that. And it's not a silhouette of nothing. It's it looks like a beam with light. No clouds, it's not the sun that's doing it. It's a being, clearly an angel, a very large one at that. So what's going on in our world today is the craziest thing that we've ever seen because the veil is thinning and Jesus is coming. We are getting to a point to where, like, to be completely honest with y'all, dude, like, none of what's happening in life makes sense to what life was like before a certain point. Like, we are literally heading towards Armageddon. We are truly heading towards the end of the world, and I would have never, like, growing up, thought that the world would be how it is today. And everyone is seeing it on the world stage. This is crazy. And prayers to anyone who was affected, lives lost. I don't think there was any lives lost or any casualties, but any property damage and things like that, because this is insane. An angel appeared after an earthquake. And then all the other signs is happening, bro. Like, slow down.
Nike is about to have every YN, every OG looking like distinguished gentlemen. I don't know if y'all know, but Nike, they just dropped them quarter zip. And if you don't know what the streets gonna do with those, you gonna watch and see. Look at this shit.
Nike tag. You don't
When you think Nike ain't listening, they listen. I guarantee y'all, Nike saw that video and was like, heard you. They heard them saying, we don't do Nike Techs no more. We do quarter zips. Nike said, we want your money. We gonna do quarter zips too, so you can do it with us. And y'all don't think the big wigs don't pay attention to social media. They listen to everything that we say. But it's a good look though. They about to start a new trend. No more hoods. No more shites. People will feel a little bit comfortable with you walking behind them. Oh, he's harmless. He's wearing a quarter zip. But Nike better do that shit good though. It can't just be that weird material. It gotta be some good fabrics. People want to put that good shit on. Feel good on your body. But the youth now, they definitely know how to put some clothes together, so I already know what the youth gonna do with this shit. It's about to be a movie. Let's thank Nike for making the streets safe again. Because when you in different clothes, you do different things. I'm out.
That kind of is crazy to think about, bro. That one trend, I don't know who those guys were in the video saying we ain't wearing Nike Techs no more, was quarter zips. Nike, they came out with the quarter zips, bro. I even saw a video of Central C, man. You know he was known, for wearing those Nike Techs, but he said he switched to the quarter zips too, bro. So that goes to show you, man, that these major companies, they be paying attention, bro. You never know, man, what they might see, bro.
Season 4, Episode 1 predicted the whole ending. Season 5 confirmed the theory. This is crazy. In Season 4, Episode 1, the Hellfire Club was doing that board game, right? And how they were going to kill Vecna. And then at the same time, while they were playing, Lucas was playing in a national state championship game for basketball. Yeah. The whole point is to roll numbers. Dustin and Erica were the only ones rolling, right? Because they're the ones last. Dustin, I think, rolled an 11, but it wasn't enough. In Season 5, Elle wasn't enough to defeat Vecna herself, right? Yeah. So it panned to Lucas shooting the game winner in the state championship game. He was wearing number 8. Oh, it was the girl. The girl, Elle's sister. Season 5, they brought back 8. So now, what's 11 plus 8? What is it? 19. So Erica rolled a 20. So they need 1 left. Who's 001? Vecna or Will? So this might confirm that Will actually might be number 1. That's actually. Or it might predict that Vecna will switch teams and join Elle, number 8. Those are the top 3 to defeat the main guy. Makes sense.
After being stranded in Antarctica for over 2 months, the 20-year-old pilot Ethan Woe is finally free. He was seen smiling as he got off a Navy ship which arrived in Chile from Antarctica on Saturday. And despite him and his lawyers doing everything they could to get him permission to fly out, ultimately DGAC officials made the decision that another pilot would be the one to fly his plane either to Chile or Argentina, since they say that Ethan's health wasn't great. Now technically, Ethan has just become the first person ever to fly to all 7 continents solo, but he says the mission is not complete until he finishes what he set out to do: raise $1 million for cancer research. And he says once he finally gets his plane back, he will finish what he started. He also said that his lawyers are currently studying a lawsuit against Chile, that he filmed the entire process, and is even planning to release a video with all of the footage he got while arrested in Antarctica.
As she yawned, the round end of her jawbone slid out of its socket, and the muscles around it pulled tight, but couldn't push the bone back in place, leaving her jaw stuck wide open. At the hospital, doctors took x-rays and saw the joint was dislocated. She waited for hours, jaw still hanging open, until they finally sedated her. Then 4 doctors pushed and pulled, until the bone finally popped back into its socket.
Tell me why that makes me not want to yawn no more, bro. That's actually insane, bro. Just yawning. Her jaw had to stay open, man. 4 people had to move it, put it back, bro. That's like nightmare fuel, man, for me.
TSA just said this and they got everybody confused right now. If you walk inside the airport without your real ID, they're going to tax you $45 at the checkout. $45 just to make sure you are who you say you are. I thought it was about safety. At this point, it seemed like it's just about money this whole time. They know people travel last minute. They know people lose their IDs. They know people don't got their IDs. So they just like, what's the alternative? Money. You don't got it, you get taxed. Imagine you running late for a flight. You got some heavy ass bags. You waiting in line and then all of a sudden you realize you don't got your ID. So TSA pull you out of line. Then you got to go pay a $45 fee. And then you gotta verify yourself, and then all in all, they probably don't even let you back in line. The airport already sometimes be stressful, bro. Now they trying to make this shit feel like a subscription service if you don't have your real ID. They've been pushing the deadline back for some years, but now they just trying to make some money on it. I'm not trying to tell nobody don't follow rules, but zeesh. At this point, TSA might as well be like, welcome to the airport. Pull out your credit card, pull out your debit card, pull out your money on it, and pay this. So let me know down below in the comments. What do y'all think this is? Is this helping security, or do y'all think this is just another money grab? Because to me, this shit's suspicious, fool.
But did you know Pope Francis is the last Pope, and after that it will be the Judgment Day?
So it literally ends after Pope Francis?
Yeah. And this book in the Vatican Archives, right, predicted every single Pope from 1143 all the way to our current Pope. But the scary thing is after Pope Francis, the last one, it just says Judgment Day. And the creepiest thing inside St. Paul's Basilica ordering the whole inner sanctuary is a picture of every single Pope, right? But what's weird is that there's only a certain amount of markers where you can put the picture. There's just one left after Pope Francis. They've always said once that last slot is filled, it will be the end of the world. He predicted the time it took to go from the first Pope that he wrote about to the halfway mark was 422 years. He's saying from the middle one to the end, another 422 years will be the end of the world. If you do 422 in the middle Pope, which was 1,585, that year is 2027. It's even weirder. Pope John the 23rd, he said that the end of the world would happen 2,000 years plus Christ's life. So that adds up to 2027 as well. Terrifying, isn't it?
I'm sure you know dolphins communicate using sonar, but a cross-section of that sonar is a cymatic pattern, like this. That's their letters. That's how they write. Now, what I'm about to show you is gonna blow your fucking mind. This is the cymatic pattern of a dolphin communicating with its trainer. This is a frozen cross-section of that. Now, if we enhance that and remove the noise around it, we can see a picture of the man in front of the dolphin communicating with the dolphin. Now, not only that, this is a frozen cross-section of how they communicate with each other. The next one is a whale's frozen cross-section of their cymatic pattern. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is a crop circle found in England. And not only is this cool because it's a crop circle, but the inside of the crop circle looks pretty similar to a cymatic pattern. Pretty wild.
What do you mean Drewski is actually getting canceled for his most newest skit? So a lot of men specifically are coming on Drewski, demanding Drewski to delete his most newest skit, and saying that it is not funny to joke about a topic like this, and that this is the most offensivest skit that Drewski has ever done. And even more worse, Drewski's response to all of these men being so angry is even more funnier than the skit itself. So as you can see in Drewski's most newest skit, he is playing a bald guy, well actually a guy that is balding, and refuses to let those last few hairs that are hanging on by a thread, you know, the guy that just needs to shave it off. His head looks exactly like if you dropped a Tootsie Roll on the ground. The joke is that these men need to just let it go, but instead these guys decide to hatfish, and this is where it gets even more insaner. Because over this past year, people have been trying to cancel Drewski for everything, because this guy just made a video saying that Drewski is absolutely in the wrong for this video, and this guy is effing pissed. The guy is saying that he's had family and friends that haven't talked to him in 6 or 7 years reach out to him by sending him that Drewski video and saying, "This you?" And Drewski responded by reposting his video for everyone else to see. Did Drewski go too far this time?
What's going on with you guys? Think Drewski went too far with that bald skit, bro? Oh, that's kind of crazy, man. I don't know, bro. I see, like, when I saw that, I said, yeah, some people, man, they're not gonna like this, bro. Because I guess it hits them harder, man, once they realize, man, that they think you was talking about them, bro. So tell me down below, what do you think?
Cabbage now, because you know we're not allowed to have that in the sink. That's a hand washing sink.
No, that's not.
Okay, but if you,
That's
it's a prep sink.
Prep sink.
Okay, even if it's a prep sink, we have to thaw it. Is that thawing or cleaning?
Cleaning.
Okay.
Keep in mind, you can wash your produce in a sink without a bowl, only if the sink is designated for washing produce only. So that sink cannot be used for throwing meat, seafood, poultry, washing dishes, nothing. However, you can never clean produce in standing water, so it's the best practice just to use a perforated bowl inside the sink to allow the water to drain and keep the produce from touching the sink surface.
Okay, well that should be in a bowl under running water. Yes, I'm just letting you know. Yes, sir. But we just can't keep it in the sink.
No, I'm not gonna keep
Okay.
it. You stop me.
No.
You stop me.
Yes, sir.
was watching it, but it did this.
I didn't come. I don't want to come to stop you from anything. So let's just go ahead and get through this paper, and I'll be out your hair. You need to thaw something. How do you usually thaw it?
I need to thaw something.
Yes, sir. So you'll just dump it in there like the cabbage, right?
Yes, and running water.
Running water, 70 degrees or under. Can't be hot water.
No, this water.
Yes. Okay. But the reason why that can't be sitting in there because anything can just fall in, anything can happen. So that's why it has to be continuous running water in the bowl. Okay? So try not to ever leave nothing in the sink by itself. Yes. And that's just easy points.
I have noticed that there have been a downward spiral with supermarkets as of late. Is anybody else experiencing this? Take this for example. As a produce manager, there is no way in hell you do not know that this is going on, y'all. Look at this. There's black mold at the bottom of the school over here, and then the water that goes down there, it gets recycled back onto your vegetables, man. So look at this. That's the water from the vegetables.
Bro, look at y'all produce at the grocery store. Look what's under. What is going on? Black mold, the fan blowing, moldy water all on your shit. Boy, look, hey. Reach it down with the mold water.
It sounds like that mold caught up with him working over here, y'all. Can someone please explain to me how is it possible for frozen food to acquire mold on it, y'all? Like, how is this possible? This is a frozen, what is it? I don't even know what that is.
Do not shop at Food Bazaar. I'm telling y'all niggas again. Why my dumb ass would have been go food shopping, but look. Brand new boxes just open this shit up. Yo, this shit is fucking crazy, bro. That I'm about to go over there right now. And I'm about to tell the niggas about these. So I'm like, what the fuck, bro? That's the second item out of chemicals that got mold on it, bro. The first time, it was at the store. They got the strawberries, the mold in it. I said my other post, that shit, look. Pay attention to the foods I buy from that store, bro.
And then this store in New York, y'all, the employee was caught spraying totally awesome all-purpose cleaner on the fruits and vegetables. What the hell?
Today at Ideal Supermarket on Pitkin Avenue in Brooklyn, I observed a worker spraying Awesome, the cleaner, degreaser used in bathrooms and kitchens on vegetables. I confronted the worker and he told me that it was lemon juice. This is dangerous. It can kill someone.
So he's spraying it with lemon for you guys. With lemon. Y'all really believe that?
So we're just in Publix getting cereal.
Hell no.
Full of exposing grocery stores. So as I showed y'all before, what we do is called reworking. So we taking out the moldy stuff in here, throwing it away, and then putting it and saving some of it in here, or it go back on the floor. So, you know, you have stuff like this, nasty, moldy, throw it away, and then the rest, sometimes we put it on the floor, or we put it in this, and this becomes this. Cut up, sold for way more money. Same with the blueberries.
If one of them is doing it, then they are all doing it because they're all chains of the same kind. It's like nowadays, productivity has dropped down to zero. I see it, they see it, the managers see it, and they also know what they're doing as well too. Like nobody wants to work anymore, so why do you think the people in the supermarkets want to as well? But this right here is so dangerous because what you put in your body will also affect your mind and how you think. So what is the point of taking food safety classes and all this type of stuff before you work at a supermarket? Since these people don't do this anymore, y'all gotta start doing your own job. Y'all gotta start checking the supermarkets or you start growing your own stuff. But this right here is unacceptable, y'all. Let me know down in the comments below. The shit
you'll wish you never knew.
Part 4. Bacteria lives in your belly button. Back in 2012, scientists found 1,400 new species of bacteria that live there. Just like fingerprints, each person has their own unique bacteria farm that separates them from other people. Some bacteria can even travel around. Scientists once tested a volunteer and found bacteria that could only be found in the soils of Japan. But the volunteer had never been to Japan. There's a strain of rust that could wipe out billions of people from the earth. It's called the UG99 stem and was found in Uganda back in 1999. And it destroys 100% of the wheat in a field that it's in. And because of how much wheat is produced on a massive scale, if this strain infects production sites like in Europe, India, or China, it would cause billions of people to either starve to death or die of sickness. Next, there's a toxin called botulinum toxin, and just 60 grams of this is enough to kill every single person that has ever lived. It's a common substance found in Botox injections, and just a teaspoon of it can kill every single person alive right now. And the CDC in Atlanta is a Pandora's box that is one mistake away from unleashing the deadliest sicknesses known to mankind. If there's ever a breach, years of medical advancements will become useless because of the hordes of deadly diseases that are studied there.
Facts that I wish I didn't know. When Gerardo Mendina turned 18 years old, his mom, Lena, was 23, meaning she had her son at just 5 years old, making her the youngest mother ever. Sudden adult death syndrome is the thing, where your heart just stops seemingly for no reason, like a cardiac arrest, except no cardiac arrest can be detected. So dementia is what they say when there's symptoms of a decline in thinking skills and memory loss, and Alzheimer's is the disease that can cause it. And signs that you might grow up and have this can be detected as early as 3 years old. Not just that though, the symptoms too. Alzheimer's and dementia in children exists, meaning that anybody at any age can completely lose their mind and become a husk of themselves.
Crazy to think about.
This picture is an example of a psychological phenomenon known as the uncanny valley. Most people, when they look at this image, are freaked out, and here's why. Our brains accept things that look human, but when there are slight differences, we become extremely uneasy, and this is known as the uncanny valley. A popular example of this is the movie The Polar Express, and this one definitely freaked me out as a kid. And it's because the characters look human, but not quite. Here's some more examples, but fair warning, they're definitely nightmare fuel.
Gruesome facts
The uncanny valley effect. Does that really like shake y'all seekers? To me, not really, but I know she said how some people, they just can't stand, to look at it. It seems human, but it's really not. My God, that Polar Express, that one kind of hits different, man, because you used to watch that as a kid, and you didn't even know they placed that in the media, man. The more you know, man. Tap in with us, man. You're gonna learn some things.
you didn't know.
Open your mind.
22. This is Zone Rogue, a 42,000-acre area of land in France that was isolated by the government following World War I. They deemed the area too damaged and too dangerous from lead, mercury, arsenic, and chlorine, as well as being saturated with human and animal remains, unexploded shells, grenades, and ammunition. This devastating photo, taken in 1945 by marine photographer Joe O'Donnell, shows a little boy waiting his turn to cremate his dead little brother. The boy bit his lip so hard that it bled and silently walked away after placing his brother in the fire. When traveling to Somalia, the U.S. State Department officially recommends that you draft a will and designate insurance beneficiaries. They also suggest that you designate a family member as a point of contact with hostage takers. On the evening of May 14, 1998, Frank Sinatra suffered a massive heart attack. The ambulance that was carrying him and his wife both made it to the hospital in record time. This was due to the nearly deserted streets as everyone else was at home watching the finale of Seinfeld.
Things humans were never meant to see.
Je pense que le professeur ne va pas venir aujourd'hui. Donc je retourne à la maison.
Hit the jets.
Can someone explain this, please?
Creepy ass cloud. No, that's like two suns. What the hell? I don't know if that's an illusion or something.
The scale of this marble quarry bioluminescence looks like in the rain.
Whoa.
What the hell
Well,
just
that's
happened
facts.
in Illinois? Seemingly out of nowhere yesterday morning, a massive sinkhole opened right in the middle of this football field in Alton. It completely swallowed up a number of bleachers and one of the huge floodlights. Now luckily, at the time, there was no one on the pitch when this happened, otherwise this would be a very different piece of news. And although it looks like some freaking sign of the apocalypse, it's said to have been caused by a working underground mine that experienced a surface subsidence. Fortunately, no one in the mine was injured either.
If you see this in the ocean, get out fast. In 2016, an Australian fisherman saw this near his boat. At first, he thought it was some kind of alien creature, but he soon realized it was something even scarier. This is actually a swollen whale. When a whale passes away, it swells up, and eventually so much gas builds up that the whale's body explodes. This sends whale guts everywhere. Whales can explode with so much force that they can injure or end human lives. As soon as he realized the danger he was in, the fisherman, Mark Watkins, sailed away. But this whale definitely looks like it's ready to pop.
The hell? I didn't even know whales can explode? What the? Well, we knew that, but I didn't know, like, it builds up with gas. But watching these clips together, you know, I've learned that they said even when people pass away, like, they can, like, burp and, you know, I guess cough and stuff like that because gas builds up in their body. So it happens to animals as well. The more you know, see, I kept that in my knowledge bank. Reference that, man.
Creepiest things kids have ever said. A woman drove past the cemetery with her 3-year-old daughter. Now they would drive past it every day. 3-year-old would tell her mom that people in there were waving at her. This would go on for a while until they decided to stop driving past the cemetery forever. This is because the daughter mentioned that there was an old lady wanting her to come in there. An aunt asked her niece to draw her imaginary friend for her. And this is what she drew. A humanoid figure with about 10 legs and their head detached. A little girl was playing in the McDonald's playhouse by herself and alone. The mother took this picture of her in the tunnel. To their surprise in the photo, they saw another child. But mind you, she was playing in there alone. When they asked their daughter who it was, she said, "That's my imaginary friend, Beto." A little boy told his dad he had an imaginary friend. He called him the Hanging Man and said he would visit him in his room every night. And even drew a picture of him for his dad. So the dad hid a camera in the child's room to see what he was talking about and caught this. Check this out.
Hey Liza,
Okay.
do you remember the day you were born?
No, but I remember the earth was open and I crawled out of hell.
Do they have a return policy on children? Because I think she needs one. Speaking
What
of
the
birth,
heck?
there is a 1 in 365 chance of you meeting someone with your exact birthday. Put your birthday down below to see if you can find your twin. Make sure to hit that follow button because part 2 is crazy.
Yeah, put your birthdays down below.
Research published yesterday has revealed that crows experience a much higher level of consciousness than we previously thought. A study into their brain revealed that crows experience primary consciousness, previously only observed in primates. We've always known crows were clever. They are excellent problem solvers, and creepily enough, research has shown that when a crow encounters a mean human, it will then teach other crows how to identify the human. Research has also shown that crows never forget a face, so remember that next time you're messing with one. The fact that crows, which last shared a common ancestor with primates 320 million years ago, are aware of themselves and their thoughts means we may have to completely rethink our understanding of consciousness and which animals experience it.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your day. Due to boredom, so they sometimes randomly eat each other. And this is what a child's skull looks like before they lose their baby teeth.
What the hell? Saw that skull, man? All those teeth in there, bro? And I didn't know it, like, when you farted, the poop particles that be in your nose. What the hell? So every single time you smell a fart, bro, you have poop in your nose. Just blowing our reality wide open, man. That's
Wait,
The sky outside is fake?
When they launch this fake alien invasion, everybody gonna swear it's real. You know why? Because people don't know that the sky is CGI technology. I've been telling y'all this. That's not your real sky. See the sky behind me? That same sky up there. That motherfucker is not real. Alright? It's not real. I've been telling y'all that for a reason because it's being controlled. There's 5 layers to it. It's CGI technology. They showed you this shit in that movie Kong when he threw the motherfucking spear at the motherfucking sun, nigga. Right? They showed it right to you, but before they showed it to you in Kong, for those of you who've been listening to me at university, y'all know from day one I've been telling y'all this. So if people don't know that CGI technology, once they get the change in the frequency of the sky, and they get the altering the layers of the sky to make it look like it's a war going on right there that's not. Alright? They make it seem like it's these huge spaceships that's in the sky that's not. And then they're gonna actually use actual spaceships that they do have from other extraterrestrial species like these insectoids and these greys and these other ones that they got in cahoots with. They gonna make this shit look real, y'all. Listen, this gonna be the biggest movie. Listen, this gonna be the biggest movie they never put out, nigga. This gonna be the biggest movie they ever put out. I'm saying movie for a reason because the shit ain't real, but it's gonna look real. Listen, you ain't better tell people that we ain't under a UFO invasion.
You could be onto something. Stay weird.
These are the
That's just a
5
theory.
scariest space facts. You've been warned. If a massive asteroid was headed for the Earth, the chances are there isn't really much we could do. At any moment, the sun could emit a coronal mass ejection aimed at the Earth, and if we weren't prepared for it, it could destroy the entire world's energy grid and leave us without power for years. There are black holes lurking in the shadows, roaming throughout our galaxy, and if one entered our solar system, it would be all over. When a star runs out of fuel, it can emit a gamma ray burst, and if a star within 3,000 light years of Earth happened to emit a gamma ray burst, and it was aimed at us, the ozone layer would be destroyed. Finally, every year there is more space junk created, putting us at risk of being trapped within the Earth.
Man, you got junk on Earth, junk in space, bro. It's like all that just keep piling up and up. I don't even know there what space junk. I mean, I knew there was some things, but I didn't know it was like gonna get bad to that level. Everywhere polluted, man. Even in space. That make no damn sense.
This is the scariest story about the school trip. An entire class of 6th graders went on a school trip one day. Everybody was taking pictures with their phones and cameras and having such a great time. But when they all got back to school, they started looking through all the photos they took, when suddenly one of the girls screamed, "Oh my god, what is that?" In the picture, one of the boys in the class was sitting on the bus, and nothing seemed strange about the photo until you looked at his reflection in the window. His face in the reflection looked like it was yellow and bulging, and completely mutating. Also, there was a white floating figure behind him in the reflection. Everybody turned the photo upside down and realized it was a human skull, and it was horrific. And when the boy saw the photo of himself, he immediately burst into tears and had a panic attack. The teacher then took the boy to the nurse's office, and the principal banned everybody from speaking about the strange photo ever again. And to make this even scarier, 7 days later, the boy died from a brain tumor. The photo is said to be on the internet somewhere, but I don't recommend looking for it.
Here are 10 creepy, disturbing, and scary facts you didn't know. Part 2. Today's high school students have the same anxiety levels as insane asylum patients had in the 1950s. Until 1974, it was illegal to appear in public in the city of Chicago if you were ugly. During the early 1990s, a serial killer named Joseph Metheny owned a burger stand located in Baltimore, Maryland. After his arrest in 1996, he confessed to feeding his customers the flesh of at least 3 humans he had murdered. A new homeowner was shocked to find a rag doll boarded up in a wall cavity, clutching a note saying she killed a family. In 1977, we received a radio signal from space that lasted 42 seconds. To this day, we still don't know where that signal came from. The movie The Hills Have Eyes was based on the true story of the Bean Clan, a Scottish family who would secretly ambush, kill, and eat travelers for 25 years. In 1957, 2 sisters, Joanna and Jacqueline Pollock, were killed in a tragic car accident. A year later, their mother gave birth to twins, Jennifer and Jillian. Then it gets weird. Jennifer, the younger twin, had scars and birthmarks on her body that were identical to Jacqueline's, the deceased younger sister. The twins began to ask for toys that had belonged to the deceased girl, toys they had no knowledge of. Albert Fish, an American serial killer, boasted that he killed in every state and claimed to have had over 100 victims. What makes him even more sickening is that he sent letters to his victims' parents to tell them how good their children tasted.
Disgusting.
A man named Francesco Lentini had 3 legs, 4 feet, 16 toes, and 2 sets of functioning male genitals. He worked for a circus and lived until the age of 78. In 2011, Anatoly Yurovich was arrested after 12 dolls were found in his apartment. However, they weren't regular dolls. They were recently deceased little girls that he had dug up, dressed up, and displayed.
What the fuck?
Like for part 3.
That wasn't it.
This is one of Spirit Halloween's creepiest props. This is Gruesome Granny from 2013, and she is easily in my top 10 props of all time. She's made by Techie Design, and they did a great job on her. Her head and hands have an awesome amount of detail, and the baby does too. And as you can see, she's pretty animated as well. She rocks back and forth while singing her baby to sleep. Her mouth moves, head turns, and her head lifts up and down. Almost everything about her to me is phenomenal. I just wish her clothing was more reflective of how long she's been dead. I mean, she's clearly been rotting for a very long time, yet her clothes are still mostly pristine. And as per usual for techie props, my favorite part about her is the audio. It is just so fucking awesome. She sings Rockabye Baby, and it's very creepy. There's a music box in the background, the baby's laughing and crying. It's just a really well-constructed soundtrack. And she does a good job at making people uncomfortable. Some people don't like this concept at all. I've seen a lot of sensitive people flip shit over this one. But I think she's weirdly wholesome. I mean, a grandmother's love transcending even death. I don't know, I think that's pretty fucking metal though. She retailed for $170 back in the day and is clearly another massive W for Techie.
Tell us some kids. She's gonna terrorize some kids.
Terrifying facts you never knew. If your immune system ever found out that you have eyeballs, you would go blind. Which means right now your immune system has no clue that you can see. Because if they did, they would attack your eyeballs until you can no longer ever see. This is because your eyeballs have a protein in them called crystalline that doesn't exist anywhere else in your body. So if your immune system found out and checked them out, it would be like, something's wrong here. Studies show that most serial killers are born in November. Today's high school students have the same anxiety levels as insane asylum patients had in the 1950s. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, my anxiety might be up there too. There's a disease called fatal familial insomnia, where people suddenly one day lose their ability to fall asleep, which leads them to slowly go insane. They can't distinguish dreams from reality anymore and go into some type of paranoia. It becomes so severe that they eventually die. Those that make it to the final stage and don't die usually end up in a vegetative state, no longer conscious. And it can happen to any one of you. About 3,000 people go missing every year in the United States. The last execution by guillotine was in 1977. This was in France. And also that was the same year the first Star Wars movie came out. You are always 6 minutes away from death, but breathing resets the clock. In 2011, Anatoly Yakovich was arrested for having 12 dolls in his apartment. Only problem is, They weren't normal dolls. They were recently deceased little girls that had been dug up and dressed to be put on display. In 2012, a Burger King employee anonymously posted this to 4chan. It said, "This is the lettuce you eat at Burger King." It only took 20 minutes for people to track down the branch that he worked at, and he was fired. You really never know what people are doing to your food. H.H. Holmes was a serial killer who built a torture hotel in the 19th century. He had secret rooms with gas chambers, trap doors, and stairs that led to nowhere. He loved to play with his victims' minds. It was almost like a real-life Saw movie. Joe McDamey was an infamous serial killer who not only cooked his victims to eat for himself, but also made them into burgers, using their remains. He then sold them to unsuspecting customers from a roadside food stand. We really never know what we eat. I'm cooking all my food myself. That's why I don't eat over people's house. In 2021, a new homeowner was shocked to find a boarded up wall. When he ripped the boards off the wall, he discovered a hole. In that hole was a doll clutching a note. The note saying that she killed a family who lived there in the 1960s. Be honest, would you move out? In 1978, there was a pilot named Frederick Valentin. Him and his plane disappeared in Australia. His last communication was, "Melbourne, that strange aircraft is hovering above me again." It is hovering and it is not an aircraft. This is a mugshot of William West and William West. Oh, and they're not related at all. But they were both sent to Leavenworth Prison at the exact same time in 1903. And after some confusion, the staff finally figured out they were two different people who had the exact same name and looked identical. This was said to be one of the main reasons why we now use fingerprints to identify somebody. There's biotech being developed as we speak that can make prisoners feel they are serving an 1,000-year sentence in a matter of 8 hours. That's horrifying. Imagine thinking you spent 1,000 years somewhere, and then when you wake up and snap out of it, you realize that it was only a couple hours. Do you know how crazy that is? Anyways, like this video if you want a part 2.
Weird. Spawned out of nowhere.
I don't know.
Interesting. Oh yeah, she on something.
She woke up at 4 a.m. when a random woman walked up to her door and started looking through her windows. But what this woman did next was completely unexplainable. She shook her head in this strange way and then stared deeply into the camera. The lady who shared this video mentioned that she was home alone and got seriously scared as she has never seen anything like this before and didn't know what to do. She received a toy bear with the last voice message of her dad, who passed away a few months earlier, and after playing it, something terrifying happened. Her dad was a retired firefighter.
That does not work.
She was going through her little sister's recording on a toy camera, and the footage seemed normal at first, when out of nowhere she started staring at something, and it didn't end well. She looked up at something with enormous height and fortunately forgot about recording and left the camera on while running out of the room, because about 70 seconds after she left, the toy captured something that left her sister seeking for any logical explanation.
So we're like, what did she see, right? And there it is. Like,
she noticed this doll while visiting her grandpa, and it allegedly moved right before she started recording, but she knew that no one would believe her, so she decided to bait the doll to move again on camera. She turned around and recorded the mirror. Pay attention to the doll's right hand.
Toy Stories.
It started off as a cute snap, but ended scary. Her son saw something inside the other room.
what'd you see? What? What do you see? Who are you saying hi to? Who are you saying hi to? Dude, you need to stop that.
Okay. Some weird things. harder. Man, no one's around. Get off the roof. Elmos were coming after you. What fell? Pop it. Pop the balloon challenge, man.
Never ever.
I don't know what was going on with that Elmo doll. Like, I've seen instances, where balloon floats and where it just starts floating, but it floated all the way upstairs, man. Like it had actual movement, like it was coordinated. I don't know if that was an edit of that, man, or if that was just a spooky coincidence, but no. Pop that balloon.
Go to this man's island. In 1939, a group of 3 men filming a documentary about an island called South Sentinel Island set sail for filming. After 3 hours of sailing, they were finally half a mile away from the shore of the island. They could see people off in the distance on the island staring at them, but that's not what first caught their attention. It was the giant man inhabiting the island with them. When they zoomed in with the camera on his face, he looked very upset. While the crew was discussing what they wanted to do next, they couldn't help but hear a sound whizzing through the air. Before they could even react, one of the men was struck by a wooden spear and knocked off the boat into the water. With only 2 men remaining alive, they decided to give the tribe a peace offering. With one man filming, the other man swam ashore with a banjo to give to the tribe's leader as a gift. After reaching the shore, he handed the giant man the banjo. But after a few seconds, the giant bashed the banjo on the man's head, knocking him out. The tribe surrounded the man and took him into a wooded area on the island. The man filming decided to keep recording as it grew darker outside. He could see a fire off in the distance, so he pulled out his binoculars to see what was going on. What the man saw ended up putting him into a psych ward for the rest of his life.
I think we know what happened. Just sitting there.
Greetings and salutations. I bestow blessings upon thee. All shall be revealed.
No. Want some wine?
But like that wasn't my best friend that night. It was the devil.
Time to hunt some skinwalkers, alright?
Summoning him?
You hear that? Sardine, Jack Crevel. Holy smokes.
Ooh. What is that? Are those like whales or sharks? What the f- All those crabs.
Bam! We catch ourselves a baby hammerhead. Look at him. He's so cool. Yeah.
What? Shadow beam. Back up from the camera. She looking like
Frickin' thing, it's staring at me. They followed me home from the gifting rock. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning right now. I think I'm gonna.
Oh, that looked like some animal. The eyes were lit up. Woo! In his hands. Don't go down those stairs. She. Open sky, a man standing in the doorway. That ain't the way to wake up.
So for today's drink,
What the is he like sleepwalking? Had to be. She look like a smooth demon, bro. Just made it. Barely.
Oh my gosh. There's people.
What the heck?
Get in the car. Get in the car. Please, open the door. Get in. Come on, guys. Get in the other side. Come on.
please get us. I need your phone. I gotta call my mom.
Right here, get it.
Storm?
Look at me. I gotta look where you're bleeding, okay? Look at me, like.
Yep, do you know where there's hospitals? Hey, let me get that done. Where's the dog? Come on, Bill. Hey, get it, buddy.
Go, man.
Don't think about what you're saying. Hey, what's lucky?
Make it straight.
Okay, we're okay.
I got injured people in my car right now.
Go.
There's a tornado here.
Where's
the guys?
Hodges.
Hodges,
Texas.
Hodges, Texas. Okay, can you? What kind of injuries you got?
Teenage children with head injuries.
Okay, we got no children here with head injuries. No broken hands. Broken hands.
Broken everything.
Okay. Okay, where you guys?
Freddie drove as fast as he could to the hospital, where they received the medical help they urgently needed. Who would have believed that anyone could survive such a tragedy? Yet, miraculously, this family pulled through.
Man, that was really intense, bro. That freaking... It's like that movie, you know, that came out, I think this year, last year, like, how they be chasing storms, and they said if a tornado looks like it's just standing still, it's really, like, coming right for you, man. So, storm chasers, sounds like a diabolical job, bro. Chasing storms, that ain't for me. Or tornadoes, yeah. Woo. That family's lucky, man, that they caught them. Swap move, dump that food. It's terrifying. What is she doing? He survived. We hear it. She has no idea. Man, you gotta be aware of your surroundings.
can't pay me to go in there. That ain't for me. Oh crap. Throw hands? Do something. He just stood there and took it. At least we're getting back to back, man. She's still out there. Bro, throw hands, man. You can't be scared after that point. I should put a Batman, bro. She gone. Okay. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're true seekers seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up. Comment down below if you guys learned anything new about this. Learned anything new by watching this video. Also, don't forget to hit that post notification bell so you always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.